All right, so the latest attempt to replace the old Presta valve is, well, this little thing, the Clik Valve. Designed by John Quintana, who wanted to, well, create a valve simple enough for his children to inflate their own bicycle tires. Novel idea, huh? So the Schwalbe Clik Valve, or SCV, was born. It's got two parts. You've got the pump head and the valve cores. Unlike standard Presta valves, there is no loosening or tightening of a nut. Just pop the pump head on, wait for the click, which will tell you it is engaged, and then pump. No levers, no threads, less air loss, and supposedly 50% more air flow. So the catch here, well, you need the pump head adapter, but more on that soon. So before we dive into the design of this thing, I do want to take a quick moment to let you all know that this video is supported in part by Tailfin. Tailfin designs and engineers technical bike packing equipment for almost any kind of adventure. Innovation and quality are at the heart of what makes them tick, and their constant strive to create better performing gear means that you can just focus on enjoying the ride. They offer a full range of options for hauling your gear, whether you're tackling a big race or just escaping for a simple overnighter. So for more on Tailfin, be sure to click the card in the top right corner here, or you can also find a link in the description below. So the Clik Valve uses a spring-loaded poppet valve similar to the Schrader valve, and once you press the pump head on, it opens the core for inflating. So the poppet sticks out ever so slightly above the valve core body so that you can press and release air. While this works, it is slower than, say, Presta valve, and definitely feels maybe less refined than the reserve valve system. That said, it's pretty cool that you can actually just use this valve core and install it into your wheel. Just deflate your tire, swap out the Presta valve core, and install it for the Clik valve core and pump it up. But how do you pump it up? Well, a standard pump actually will work, but Clik valves are designed for their own pump head specifically. Yeah, so let's get into the compatibility. All right, so Clik sent me their tubeless valves and pump head kit, which includes the valves, valve dust caps, and a right angle pump head adapter. But the cool thing here is, well, the pump head actually unthreads from the adapter so that you can use it with other pumps, floor pumps, hand pumps. So this is really nice, especially if you have these cores installed and you go on a ride. Yeah, you'll need this piece for your hand pump. Now, if you like what you're hearing and want to go all in on Clik valves, well, you'll probably want to install the right angle pump head adapter on your floor pump. Miles actually did this while testing the system and writing a review on it. And not only does it look cleaner, but it definitely shows that you're fully committed to the Clik valve setup. But here's the thing. I test a lot of bikes, and many of them come with Presta valves. All of them really do. So the idea of cutting off my old pump head and installing the Clik valve adapter, yeah, I just didn't want to do it. I was hesitant. So instead, I just used this adapter and, well, added it to my pumps. So Clik Valve claims it actually fits most pumps, and, well, I have a lot of different pumps, so naturally I figured why not see if that's actually true. So let's do that. All right, so we got a ton of hand pumps here. We'll start with the hand pumps first, move on to the floor pumps next. So this is an MSW pump. I'm not even sure if they're still around, a QBP brand, but let's see if this adapter threads on. Presta valve side, Schrader valve side. So Schrader valve side for sure does. Oh yeah, that works. And it does not fit on the Presta valve side. The Toe Peak Race Rocket Mountain, this is actually one of my favorite hand pumps. Threading it on, this is a Presta Schrader kind of all-in-one here. Let's see if it threads on. Yeah, and there's air coming through. Okay. The 2-in-1 Toe Peak, it's like a shock pump and also a pump for your tires. And this will thread right on like so. Yep, and that is giving me air, so that works. So what I'm finding is that most of these most of these pumps work. All right, so this is the new Wolf Tooth pump, and this does not work, and just trying to thread this in there, it does not work. So this is a Presta specific pump, and the Clik Valve adapter does not work with that. So this Lazine pump here, this is the Schrader side of the pump. You can see these thread on either way, but I am threading on the Presta side, so I have access to the Schrader side, and would you know it, it fits perfectly. That feels really good and solid, actually. Next up is this Blackburn Mammoth 2-stage pump here, and let's see if this one threads on. Ooh. It doesn't thread, but it feels like it's fitting nicely. That seems to work. Oh yeah, that definitely works. And then this Lazine pump, yep, same thing. It's gonna work. Schrader side, smaller one. Boom, great. All right, so let's look at two CO2 cartridge heads. This one, pretty standard. Threads on really nicely. And this style also threads on perfectly. I don't use CO2 very often anymore, but I know people still do, and having the Clik Valve system with CO2, it's going to make things even that much quicker. All right, let's move on to a floor pump. So this is the Pro floor pump. This is a Presta and Schrader floor pump head. And this one doesn't thread. It just goes in, and when you thread it, it kind of maybe locks in place a little bit. That seems to work really well, okay? And then moving on to another Toe Peak product, the classic Joe Blow, which is my probably 10-year-old pump, still working very well. So this is the Presta side. No, Presta side does not fit. And here is the Schrader side. Again, doesn't thread, but it fits in nicely. And then when you move this backwards, it locks into place. And then you pump it. Plenty of air. So as you saw, it threaded on most pumps, especially Schrader valve side, or floor pumps with the lever locks, making the backwards compatibility pretty darn good. But carrying this little extra piece for your hand pump on a ride is, well, annoying. And if you lose it, that's super annoying. That all said, I did try to use a regular Presta pump on the Clik Valves, and while they're not nearly as efficient, they work in a pinch. However, this might be forcing air through the seals, so yeah, it might also be hurting the integrity of the system overall. So installing this system actually is as easy as removing the Presta valve core and installing the Clik Valve core, tightening them down using the dust cap, and well, you're good to go. Not having to uninstall a tire and install a full valve is, well, it's a huge bonus. However, the valves they did send me are pretty nice. They work on tire inserts, flow well, and come in various sizes, from regular tubeless valves that we've come to know, all the way up to 100mm valves for, you know, the deep dish, not deep dish rims, not deep dish pizza. Sorry, my mind's in the right spot. All right, so what's a high flow valve test without trying to set one up tubeless, right? Yeah. So pumping up the tires with the valve core still in is, well, never the smartest choice, or at least something I don't really ever do. Normally, I use a compressor or pump up the tire without a core for max airflow to seat the tire bead, and then I reinstall the core. But it worked really well, even without full effort. Having a new tight tire probably helped, but it worked without breaking a sweat, so I'll take it. Even though the Clik Valve claims better airflow, when you install the adapter head and engage the core, it actually doesn't look too different from the lower part of a Presta valve core. So this kind of makes me think its advantage is more about providing consistent pump attachment, resulting in a steady, uninterrupted flow. But unlike Presta, the Clik Valve core doesn't really let anything sneak in. So whether there's pressure or not, it's fully enclosed unless you're actively engaging the poppet valve and pushing air through. And while Presta valves, well, they're essentially offer the exact same thing. If there is no pressure in the tire, the core is vulnerable to sealant or grit making its way into the system, which eventually leads to clogging or slow leaks as seals wear down. One really frustrating thing that you might find with the Clik valve is releasing air with your hand. You need something to actually press the poppet if you can't use your fingernail. And I found actually the side of the dust cap worked really well, but the fact that it is slightly difficult is, well, it's annoying. Also, my SKS pressure gauge doesn't work with these valves, which is sad as I use that before almost every ride. They do have their own gauge, which is nice, but it's just another thing to have around and buy. But those annoyances might be worth it for how easy it is to attach your pump to the valve without losing pressure. And in tight spaces, the convenience of the Clik system is really hard to beat. All right, so there's always been issues with the Presta valve. And while we've seen redesigns over the years, we really haven't seen a complete overhaul from the pump head down to the valve core. Really, until now. So the Clik valve offers a simple and enjoyable way to pump up your tires. It's fun. And while the cores and pump adapters aren't terribly expensive, at $12 USD for a pair of the valve cores and $13 USD for the pump head adapter, it does add up if you are looking to fully commit and transition away from Presta. Meanwhile, you can stock up on a lifetime supply of Presta valve cores for around $100 USD and will continue using your existing pump. But Schwalbe is a major brand and they plan to expand this concept with their tubes. But will they fully commit? And will other brands jump on board with compatible pumps or valves? Only time will tell. I love the idea, but I'm not ditching my Presta Schrader valve head on my floor pump just yet. So, what do you all think about the Clik valve? Is it here to stay? Maybe not. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. And if you like what you saw in this video and want to see more like it, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you want to help support BIKEPACKING.com, our YouTube channel, everything we do as a whole, you can do so by joining the Bikepacking Collective. The Collective offers some really awesome perks, including some new ones, Basecamp. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Head to BIKEPACKING.com for more details. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, pedal further.